What up, y'all? Violent J here, the Duke of the Wicked.
And I'm Jumpsteady, aka Robert Bruce, one half of the Bruce Brothers.
That's right. And this is the inaugural episode of our brand new podcast. First one ever, the Bruce Brothers Podcast, right here on Gas Digital. This episode probably will be full of mistakes and blunders as we work our way through this new procedure. This is all the way new, all the way live. And we're excited. And it's going to be quite the fucking series, because the thing is, each and every week, we will be offering you a brand new subject. That's right. Every week, we'll be offering a brand new episode with a completely, entirely different subject. Sometimes we'll be talking about pro wrestling. Sometimes we'll be talking about Bigfoot. Sometimes we'll be talking about conspiracy theories.
I speculate there's going to be lots of Bigfoot conversations.
There will, even on other subject matters.
Too many Bigfoot conversations.
That's right. They will round their way back to Bigfoot.
And whatever subject we talk about, it will be coming back to Bigfoot at some point or time.
Even tonight's.
Right.
But nonetheless, that's neither here nor there, because tonight we have our own exclusive subject matter. And my brother, Jumpsteady, aka Rob Bruce, is going to bless us with tonight's subject matter. Rob, if you will.
So tonight we're going to start off with a subject that's very light, very wholesome, very fun. We're talking about this subject that's really relevant in today's world.
It's becoming more and more relevant.
And we like to call it the Doomsday Countdown, where basically we will be discussing tonight all the various ways that our world as we know it and all human life as we know it can come to an end right here and now.
Yes, that's right. And the thing is, not only are these ways the world can come to an end, but these are probable ways, as they probably will happen.
Some are very probable.
That's right. Some it's amazing they haven't happened already.
I suspect that some of these things on this list 100% will come to pass.
That's right.
Probably within the next 100 years or less.
It will not be a miracle if some of these doomsday tragedies happen, because it's already a miracle that they haven't happened.
You know what? And humans, right, are riding until the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? We're going at 100 miles an hour toward oblivion.
That's right.
With no fucks given at all.
Well, some people give a fuck, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, because those in power do not give a fuck.
Put it this way, no fucks given matter at all. All that hoping and praying you're doing means absolutely nothing, because we're all gonna die very soon. That's what the point is. And Rob is gonna kick things off and get started with this expose on death that we're all guaranteed to face. So you think, you hope, you wish you'll die of old age, but that is a pipe dream, all right? That is not probably going to happen, because the year is 2025 and we're all gonna die.
All right, what do you know about the doomsday clock?
I know it's ticking and way overdue.
Yes, the doomsday clock is a very real thing. A group of scientists every year get together and assess how close we are to the human annihilation. Okay, so basically right now, that doomsday clock is 89 seconds to midnight. That's the closest it's ever been. Once it reaches midnight, we all die. Okay, so they take a look at things like where the state of the world, there's things that attribute to this, like global warming, cyber attacks using AI, the modernization of nuclear weapons in the United States, even the pandemic that recently hit and climate change are all factors into this. And they take their scientific minds and they basically evaluate how close we are to human annihilation. We have never been closer. Are you familiar with the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yes.
Back in the 60s when they had missiles in Cuba they were going to launch on the United States.
The good old safe days.
Those are the safe days when we were 4 minutes to midnight.
That's right.
Currently, right now, everybody's like, we are about to fucking die.
So during the Cuban Missile Crisis, we were 4 minutes from midnight?
I think it was 4, it was either 3 or 4 minutes.
And what are we at now?
89 seconds to midnight. Okay, so we are really close. Now, there's a lot of contributing factors, and we're going to go over that tonight in detail. What is basically causing this? That's right there, and there's another picture too, right? If you can bring up that other picture. All right. So anyway, there's a lot of things. So let's just kick it off with going through a list, if you will, a plethora of ways that our very world could come to an end.
All right, and before we do that, before we kick things off officially and start the seminar, if you will, we want to let you know if you have an idea for a subject matter, you can always drop it to us on our Instagram. That's Bruce Brothers Podcast, at Bruce Brothers Podcast on Instagram. Holler at your boys and let us know your subject idea so we can ignore it and never do it. All right.
Let's go all the way back. The very first one I want to talk about, of course, is a nuclear holocaust.
Oh, good old Holocaust.
I think that's the favorite of everybody's. That's kind of like what you think of when you think about the world coming to an end. You think about a giant fireball of...
That's the go-to answer.
You know what I'm saying? Like atomic bombs landing in major cities, everybody dies. It all started in 1945 in New Mexico. If you guys can run the first video. In New Mexico, they did a testing of the very first atomic bomb. And it was,
beautiful.
They basically had a small city set up. They had soldiers out there with sunglasses on, like about a mile away watching the explosion, not realizing they were about to be irradiated and get cancer down the line. They had a bunch of guinea pigs out there just to kind of see what the mental reaction would be of these people. And here in this video, you can see some of the buildings getting shredded. This is like near ground zero where the atomic bombs go off. So there's the initial blast radius of an atomic bomb just obliterates everything within a couple miles. Then there's actually third-degree burns that radiate out from there, where you might not die immediately, but you're going to wish you were dead. And then extending out from that radius is the radiated zone, which extends like 20 miles from the blast.
How big, okay, hold on. When a nuclear bomb drops and it hits ground zero, how big is third-degree burns? How far away from that can you be and still receive third-degree burns?
It really depends on the size of the bomb. They got all different size, like modern day war right now, they have all different size bombs, okay? Like one stealth bomber can carry 16 nuclear missiles, okay? One stealth bomber.
Wow.
Each one of these nuclear missiles if dropped on a major population, would kill 1.5 million people. So we would have to do some math. I don't have my calculator. 1.5 million times 16 is how much death one stealth bomber can rain down.
Wow.
On the world. Just one.
Even if it's by accident and the stealth bomber stalls out,
no, well, I don't.
it's guaranteed to take out at least 16 million people.
That's right. Well, yeah. All right. But basically, there's like I said, the blast radius, which could be like 2 miles. Like that's a complete annihilation of everything. And then extending out from there, like 5 miles is third-degree burns and crazy winds, like shrapnel flying, people getting killed. Most people in that radius will die. And then extending out from that, we're talking about maybe like 9-mile radius. You're talking about radiation zone, where most people.
It's the worst death possible.
Yeah. And those soldiers in 1945, they were looking up from the foxhole, they basically got irradiated. Now, in 1956, then came the Tsar bomb. All right, if you guys can play this video, hopefully. The Tsar bomb is actually 50 megatons. It was 3,300 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It is the largest nuclear bomb that's ever been detonated.
The Tsar bomb.
The Tsar bomb in Russia. Okay, now when this bomb detonated, the sound wave wrapped around the Earth 3 times.
Holy shit.
Like you heard it go by and then you heard it again.
That's like my truck on volume 10.
And then you heard it again. The cloud that raised up from this bomb was 40
Oh shit, that's
miles.
the mushroom cloud? That's the
Yes.
bomb in the middle?
Yep, it was 40 miles high, and it was above the cloud level.
Holy shit.
Now the thing that makes the nuclear war even worse, though, even worse than the bombs, is the nuclear winter. You ever hear the term nuclear
Yes.
winter? So
The
what
ash,
happens is
the
like
fallout.
all the dust, all the ash that gets like put off into the air, it basically gets into the Earth's atmosphere and it wraps around the entire world to blot out the sun.
Yes, for a long time.
Now we're talking about if mad bombs were dropped, like let's just say straight up, like we just were trying to annihilate our enemy and the enemy was trying to annihilate us. There would be so many bombs dropped, it would blot out the sun, and that's where everybody would die from the nuclear winter, because even in the summertime, it'd be freezing temperatures and there would be no crops no crops would grow. And basically everybody would die that way. It'd be a slow, horrible fucking Mad Max style.
So that's
death.
for all you motherfuckers with the bomb shelters built in your backyard and all that, thinking you're all smart and fresh because you survived the fucking fallout. Well, now you crawl out to complete and utter darkness where savages are ripping each other's limbs off for food.
All right, so
Congratulations.
This is going to be the cause of the nuclear war too. So in 200,000 years, right? I'm talking about overpopulation. This is what's going to cause.
Is this another way the world could die?
Well, this is what's going to cause. I'm speculating this is what's going to cause
The
World
nuclear
War III,
war.
The nuclear war. 200,000 years it took the planet, the population of the planet, in 200,000 years to reach 1 billion people. Okay? Now, from that point, this is really going to blow your mind. So, from that point of 200,000 years, we were at 1 billion people. It only took another 200 years from that point to get to 7.6 billion people on the planet.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
High acceleration
In the
rate.
last 200 years, there's been a population explosion on the planet.
Right.
Now, there is only enough resources. Can you guys bring up the pictures? There's only enough resources to basically, for 10 billion people, there's only enough resources on the planet to accommodate 10 billion people. They suspect, they're saying by 2050, basically, we'll be at 10 billion people. By 2100, we will be at 11 billion people. There's not going to be enough resources. There's not going to be enough food on the planet to sustain everybody, okay? So
damn, there they all are.
Yeah, there they are, just chilling, ready for a bomb to be dropped. So people, right, are the most friendliest in the world when you have your amenities.
That's right.
You got your fucking Steam, you got your Xbox, you got your YouTube, you got all your food you want to eat. You know, I don't give a fuck how poor you are. Most ninjas have food on their table. They have, you know, a way
They have full bellies.
They have some kind of like
They're in good
shelter.
moods. They're in good moods because their toes are warm and they have full bellies.
Now here's the graph. If you see this graph right here, look how crazy that is. You see that line at the bottom?
Yes.
That line at the bottom is the first 200,000 years. And then it gets to now and it just shoots straight up like a fucking wall. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. But anyway, when people get all this stuff taken away, that's when motherfuckers get crazy. That's when the world's gonna end. Because you're not gonna have food to eat, you're not gonna have shelter, there's not gonna be enough anything to go around. And that's when shit's gonna pop off, I guarantee it. Anyway, that's just speculation right there. Okay, so the US maintains 1,650 strategic nuclear warheads.
So
At
altogether
any
we
given
got how
time.
many?
1,650. Each one of these can travel up to 9,000 miles. They can basically hit targets anywhere in the world. We got them on submarines. We got planes that basically can come in, fire the missiles, and take off. They only have to be in range of any anti-aircraft defenses at all.
Wow.
They basically can strike anywhere in the world. There's 9 countries right now possessing nuclear weapons. And right now, this is one of the reasons why the world is in the state that it's at. Right now, we're spending $1.7 trillion to refurbish our nuclear armament. And what I mean by that is we're taking all our missile silos and giving them an upgrade.
Good.
Upgrading it to
Good.
missiles.
We don't want that shit getting rickety and janky.
Right.
And launching on its own.
But I'm saying they're putting more, like they're building more submarines with nuclear capabilities. They're building more stealth bombers. Like they're spending ridiculous money to make sure that our nuclear armament is top notch. Like
Can't have the enemies catching us lacking.
Right, exactly. So anyway, that's one of the ways the world could end. Now,
nuclear warfare is definitely. Is it number one on the list or just one of the ways?
That's just one of the ways. But hold on. I want to show this nuclear submarine firing these missiles so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. I mean, these motherfuckers can be deep hidden underwater, launching mad nuclear missiles to eradicate. I mean, enough nuclear missiles from one submarine could like eradicate probably a third of America. Like I'm talking every major city gone. They have missiles that they launch and they break apart into like 6 or 8 different nuclear missiles to strike different targets.
Wow.
So anyway, can you guys pull up that video, the Russia submarine test? So anyway,
so that's Russia with the underwater fresheners.
Yeah, well, this is just a video, but I really like this video because it basically shows. Like, it gives you an idea of what we're talking about. Like, these missiles coming out of the water. You can't even see the fucking submarine. Just nuclear missiles out of nowhere, like some ninja stealth shit firing off. So this is like them testing their nuclear weapons. Everybody gearing up to die. All right,
just making sure it works before we all die.
Now, another way...
we don't want any mistakes in anybody living.
That's right, you know. All right, so another problem with all this nuclear armament is it creates nuclear waste. Like all the stuff that they're working on, all these missiles they're creating creates a bunch of nuclear waste, which is another fucking problem and another reason why the doomsday clock is 89 seconds to midnight is because nuclear waste is a serious problem and there is literally no definitive way to store nuclear waste. No completely safe. All we have is temporary alternatives to nuclear waste. Nobody has figured out a way to safely dispose of nuclear waste. So currently there's 250,000 tons of nuclear waste, and there's one facility in America that's super deep down that we store it in.
Delray.
But real quick, I want to show some pictures here of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. You ever hear of
Chernobyl? Oh, yeah.
Chernobyl,
I'm all familiar with that.
Yeah, it had a meltdown. Basically,
in 1989?
They're experimenting, fucking around with different ways to power the site, and they fucked up in one of their experiments, which caused the nuclear meltdown, displacing like 90,000 people, resulting in mad deaths, people getting radiation sickness and everything
I heard some horror stories about the guys they sent into there to try to repair those leaks.
And then there's also the Fukushima nuclear disaster, which happened in 2011. This was triggered by a powerful earthquake and a tsunami that basically hit at the same time, which caused the power plant, three nuclear power plants to literally blow up. You know what I'm saying? And that whole area, it caused a displacement of 160,000 people. And, that whole place is radiated for the next 100, probably 1,000
How do
years.
they just vacate an area for 150 years? Go on.
Right, well, that's what you got to do because it's just dangerous. All right, so anyway, this facility, it's called the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant in New Mexico, or AKA the nuclear graveyard, stores these 250,000 barrels. Now, they had an incident where one barrel was improperly made and it burst open, and that basically cost $2 billion of a problem to fix one fucking barrel of the 250,000, or actually they probably got millions of barrels. There's 250,000 tons. There's millions of barrels just stored underground.
That damn barrel.
And the thing is, these barrels, they're not going to last forever, right? That's the problem. This is a temporary fix. And currently, right now, at a lot of these power plants.
So these barrels are full of nuclear waste.
They're full of nuclear waste, and they're degrading. Okay.
How do we get one?
Because nuclear waste remains dangerous for tens of thousands of years.
So would you take a barrel of nuclear waste if you could have one?
No, fuck no.
It doesn't matter, Rob, because if one of our neighbors has one, we're all equally as fucked. Like,
Right.
you know, if there's even one in this state, we're probably all fucked.
Right. So the problem is, no matter how well you build some shit, it's not going to last tens of thousands of years. Those barrels at some point are going to be degrading. So they have a temporary fix. Hey, let's just put this shit underground for right now, and then we'll move it somewhere or do something with it once science reaches a point
Well, we can.
where we can do something about it. You know what I'm saying? And then that's one of the chambers where they're stacking up barrels.
Wow.
Just deep underground, right? Okay, so I want to run this video real quick where it kind of shows you the guys cruising around down in the tunnels. I just think it's fascinating, like all these fucking thousands upon 250,000 tons. You know how much nuclear waste that is? So and then nuclear power plants, some of them, they just store their waste in barrels right on the site. Just, again, a temporary fix. Like, they're just like, all right, we'll put them off here right now. Of course, we got to move them.
That is so nuts. So we know for a fact that these barrels aren't going to last.
Yeah.
But they'll solve the problem today. That's tomorrow's generation's headache, right?
Yeah.
We don't have the technology to deal with it, so we just give it the part-time Band-Aid, right?
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the number of barrels just accumulates and accumulates and accumulates.
All right, let's play that video showing the nuclear graveyard under New Mexico. Oh, you guys didn't get the video together? Okay. All right. All right, so anyway, that's the nuclear
Threat.
Okay,
Wow.
so which is the first one, which is the nuclear holocaust. And it's one of the main reasons why we're 89 seconds to midnight.
Now, wait a minute. Quick question about that term, 89 seconds to midnight. There isn't 89 seconds in a minute. So how do they figure 89 seconds till midnight?
It's basically a minute and a half. We're like a minute and a half.
I
But
gotcha.
when you say 89 seconds, it just sounds ruthless. It sounds
Might
like
as well
really
have
cool.
some cool sounding phrase before we all die.
Yes. Okay, so
Number two.
number two we're going to talk about is nanotechnology. Nanotechnology. What do you know about nanotechnology?
I'll tell you, I actually know a little something about nanotechnologies.
Okay.
Nanotechnologies are basically similar to, in nature, robotic molecules.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's basically. Actually, hopefully we have a clip here. What is nanotechnology? You guys have that clip? So we're going to play this real quick because it's basically manipulated matter on an atomic and molecular scale, like the smallest scale possible.
Is there sound?
1,000 times smaller than the width of a human hair. Making new things at this incredibly small scale is called nanotechnology, and it's one of the most exciting and fast-moving areas of science today. Some nanomaterials are naturally occurring. You can find them everywhere in volcanic ash, ocean spray, fine sand, and dust. Naturally occurring nanostructures are also present in plants and animals. For example, nanostructures in insect eyes ensure an anti-reflection and water-repelling effect, so they can fly safely. Nowadays, scientists can create nanostructures themselves. By rearranging the atoms of an object, they can make new nanomaterial with new properties. For example, that are stronger, lighter, or different in color.
Okay. Also, I want to show you another, if you guys can bring up the next video, where it discusses how big nanos are, like the nanotechnology, like the
An actual
scale-
nano.
The scale we're talking about. It's beyond, it's such a small scale that these scientists are working with on a super fine molecular level. All right, and this is like kind of explaining how big nanotechnology is.
Inconceivable nano world, conceivable. Your naked eye can see the diameter of a human hair. That's 1/10 of a millimeter, or 100,000 nanometers. To understand the small, we're going to scale it up to skyscraper proportions. And return to our human hair and blow it up to the size of the Empire
So
State
that
Building.
Empire State Building would be the human hair, right?
Right.
Like that's the.
A typical human cell, say a red blood cell, would rise to the 10th floor. A bacteria cell, the 3rd floor. Working down our scale, a run-of-the-mill protein molecule would be the same height as a small dog, about 1.5 feet. And a nanometer, on our Empire State scale, is less than 1/4 of an inch.
Okay, so
Wow.
using nanotechnology
So if the nuclear state building,
was a human hair.
a nanobot would be that one little brick.
Yeah, the nanotechnology, like the molecular level that they're dealing with is the crazy fine, minute, so ultra tiny you can hardly even conceive.
And this nanobot is basically a little robot?
No,
A little
so-
computer chip, a little piece.
So they're manipulating the matter on an atomic level to change the properties of they're basically changing the property of atomic molecular shit. They're changing the properties of it to make it different. So they can make things like stronger, way less, water repellent, and
Whatever you need.
whatever you need. And they can turn like ocean water into drinking water. The problem with this is that there's right now you ever heard of the arms race where people are racing to be the first to
Right,
create
they're
nuclear?
racing over this
They're
technology.
racing right now to create nano weaponry, to be the first to do that. Like the first country that have nano weapons, okay? And what I mean by nano weapons are first, I want to show you this one last video about the power of nanotechnology, which just shows you how it can change things. If you can pull up the power of nanotechnology video. Yeah, so basically, oh yeah, you guys, we're going down this list from top to bottom, so you know what video's coming up next. So this is just showing you an example of like what nanotechnology they can do with it. As you see this brick, they made it water repellent, so any liquid gets on it, it just floats off it. And the only way to do stuff like this is to change it on a molecular level. Like, you know what I mean? So nanotechnology currently exists right now. They're using it right now in products, and more they're using it.
Can you name a product they're using it on?
Well,
That kind of shit.
this shit right here for sure, like
Waterproof.
Yeah, waterproof stuff. I think it's in food. They're using it for food to make it more
Delicious.
make it more resistant to getting bacteria and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, since 2001, the U.S. has spent $45 billion in the research of nanotechnology. There's 29,000 people currently that are in the nanotechnology field. That's all they do full time, is to study nanotechnology to find out different ways to implement it. The problem with nanotechnology, and I can tell you this with almost certainty, is this is going to be the end of the world at some point.
This is your best guess for the
100%,
subject.
100% the world's going to end over nanotechnology.
Okay.
It's 100% going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Like how long is it going to take?
Why is that?
So what they can do with nanotechnology is they can make, first of all, you can make mini nukes, okay, that are about like 5 pounds. Like easy, you could hide it in your jacket.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Rob a bank with a nuke.
And it's basically a hydrogen
That
bomb.
nuke strap.
It's right. It's a hydrogen. It's a hydrogen bomb that is basically created and could blow up like a giant, like a city block.
He just whipped out the
Like,
nuke.
Like it would blow up the whole city block. I'm talking huge buildings, like killing 100,000 people if it's in a massive city. And it's like a 5-pound bomb. So this technology might already exist. If you go online right now, I guarantee you go online right now, search nanotechnology, you're not gonna find shit, man, because they're trying to keep it so low key. Like they don't want people.
How? They got 27,000 people working.
I know, but they're still repressing it, like the information that's being projected out there. You're only gonna find a couple videos on it, and they're all crackpots, like kind of speculating. They only have like 1,000 views. If anything gets too many views, they wipe it out. So it's definitely some.
Well, let's hope we don't get too many views on this.
All right. The other thing they do is they're creating battle suits using nanotechnology, like lighter robotic framework to create super soldiers and all that. But the one where is the autonomous flying drones, okay? So they're basically like little mosquitoes, right? The size of mosquitoes that are robots. And they create these robots using nanotechnology on a crazy fine, minute scale. And then these robots could have basically a poison syringe where it can just fly up, inject you with the poison, fly out, or fly in onto your food, drop the little poison on your food, and then fly off, and then you're eating your burger and you choke.
So that's these countries developing this shit, and that's what you're saying is the threat.
That's one of the threats. Now it gets worse than that, but let me just talk about the flying insects for a minute. Try to imagine, they perfected the nanotechnology, right? And they want to take out a country. So they they just have a suitcase and they fill it with 1 million fucking nano insects with poison syringes in a suitcase. They fly to the country they want to take out. The guy just opens the suitcase and the fucking insects go to work. Now, the other thing about these insects is they can program them to self-replicate. So like whatever poison they're using, they can actually they'll be able to program the robots to create that poison. So it'll never run out. It could just continuously just kill.
Create itself.
And there's no defense, there's no way to defense about it. Now there's also basically self-replicating AI anonymous robots, okay? And so this is where the world's gonna end. So basically they can create these tiny microscopic robots that can just enter your body and, if they're programmed, let's say attack your vital organs or whatever. And not only that, but they self-replicate. So they can make other versions of themselves and just keep self-replicating indefinitely, using molecules, on a molecular level, like just creating versions of itself and then going out with that program to kill shit. Now they're trying to use nanotechnology to help fight diseases and, there's a good side of it
Which
too.
it probably could.
Like they're even theorizing it could cure cancer, for example, like at some point. Like to go in and attack, the damaging cells, the damaging things on a molecular level, attacking it and eradicating it. The problem is you can also use these machines to kill, and if they're self-replicating and they can even AI, they think for themselves, like artificial intelligence, like that's gonna cause the world to end.
So couldn't an AI computer decide to send all the nanobots and create this ultimate weapon and blow us up? Because AI computer can use the nanobots to its advantage and create anything it wants.
Yeah. So the other thing they can do on a molecular level is create nano machines that act as like biological pathogens, that make you sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To the point where you die. So you wouldn't be able to see them, taste them, feel them, nothing. They would just fly into your nose or in your mouth or whatever, through your skin even, and just get into your body system and kill you like COVID would.
Sent by an AI robot.
Sent by the enemies sent by people that programmed.
That's what I'm saying. Or an AI robot.
Yeah.
Doing it himself.
In the near future, I'm talking, it might even be happening now. There could be people being assassinated by nanotechnology. We don't know how far they've gone, how far they've reached in this field, right? So there could be people being assassinated right now using nanotechnology, and you would never fucking know.
That's what happened to Jeffrey Epstein.
They just got sick and died. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the risks.
They nano crushed his neck in the prison and made it look like he hung himself.
Anyway, I suspect that probably 100% in the next 200 years, we're all dead from nanotechnology.
We ain't gonna last no 200 years.
I
What are you
mean, that
talking
like
about?
no matter what, like we're gone.
Okay.
And they're racing, they are racing to get to be the first to be able to create these weapons. So because whoever has the weapons, right, has the
It's gonna
power.
have the power of the world.
They have the power of the world. They can take out any enemy. Oh, you want to fuck with us? We got nanobots.
All right, before we continue on the list, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back, right here on Gas Digital with the Bruce Brothers Podcast. And our subject this week, death, the countdown of doom, the doomsday clock countdown.
Yeah. All right. The next way the world could end is physics experiments.
Are we back? Okay, because we're not on the camera. There we are.
Okay. What do you know about the Large Hadron Collider?
Oh, nothing?
Okay. All right. Basically in Geneva, Switzerland, at this facility called CERN, they have a 17-mile basically loop where they accelerate
17
particles.
miles, you said.
17-mile long circular loop that uses magnets that propels particles.
A 17-mile loop that uses magnets.
Right. That uses magnets to basically accelerate protons
That very thing you're looking at
the
folks.
speed of light, okay? And then they collide them into each other
Oh,
to see what happens.
why not?
Okay. And when they collide them into each other, new particles are formed. And they're like, oh shit, this is a brand new particle we've never seen before. This is some crazy shit. Let's keep colliding these particles. And that's good for the video. So they basically, they have taken this technology, right? And they're slamming these particles in. And it's even been documented that they've been able to move particles faster than the speed of light.
Wow.
Faster than the speed of light.
Who cares about a bitch-ass particle, though?
And they weren't even sure that this could happen.
Like, what's the danger in a particle, though, Rob?
The danger in the particles is they believe that, a lot of people believe, scientists theorize, that by slamming these particles together and they keep doing it, at some point they're going to create a black hole.
Oh.
And it would be like...
Right here on Earth.
Right here on Earth. And there's scientists that are like, 100% if you keep fucking around with this technology, you're going to create a black hole. And it would just be like a miniature black hole, right? Just a tiny one, maybe like the size of a fist. But that black hole will just keep consuming and sucking in everything around it with no way to stop until the whole world is destroyed.
Till it's all sucked into the black hole.
Till it's all sucked into the black hole and everything around it.
Which is the size of a pool ball.
Which is the size of, yeah, like the size of a fist. Like
the size of a blew out butthole.
So, you know, it's basically this, you think about all these scientists, right? They've spent billions of dollars creating this huge, like, facility.
Track.
To just fuck around.
And create a black hole.
They're fucking around. They don't even know what's going to happen.
So literally, they're rolling the dice every time they slam particles together.
Yeah, exactly. They're just seeing what happens. They have no idea. They're like,
have anybody asked these scientists what happens if it's the bone?
Of course.
And they're just like,
there's people protesting it and trying to stop it. But, you know, with the pursuit of science, they're like, hey, the risk outweighs the rewards outweigh the risk. We're going to keep doing this because we're creating all these new particles that never existed before.
The rewards outweigh the risk. Unless it lands on that dreaded double snake eyes.
By doing this, they're able to, like, basically understand the make of the universe. You know, it's giving them answers on how things are created and riddles of the universe by creating these new particles, because there's particles hitting each other and doing shit out in space. So they are learning from it. But, you know, there's a small chance that it could be the annihilation of the whole planet.
Is that a chance we want to take?
All right, now one thing, if you can pull up this picture, at CERN, now this is no bullshit, there's a 2-meter tall statue of Shiva, which is one of the three primary deities of the Hindu Trinity. And Lord Shiva is worshipped in India as the destroyer and transformer of the world. That exists right there at CERN, where the Hadron Collider is operating.
That's where the track is?
That's where the track is. That right there.
That satanic-looking symbol.
Well, it's not satanic, but it's part of the Hindu Trinity. But it's worshipped in India as the destroyer and transformer of the world. And they just have it right out. I mean, doesn't that sound crazy?
Well,
like, why would you put that there? They're like, hey.
At least they're not fronting.
They're like, we're riding until the wheels fall off, man. We're fucking going all out, and we're going to take If the world dies, it fucking dies. All right.
We're either
anyway.
gonna do it or we're gonna be the ones who blew it. They're going for it. I
All right.
admire it.
The other way the world could end is global warming.
Oh, another subject. On to
everybody-
the next subject already. That
Yes.
one's short and sweet.
Yeah, it's just a little black hole.
Okay, now we get to global warming, which you've been hearing about. Now, let me say something real quick before you get off onto this subject. When I first started hearing about global warming, the melting of the icebergs and all that, I kept hearing about how we're all fucked in a matter of years. Well, I used to say, and we're not doing nothing about it. We're not doing nothing about it. We all know it's inevitable doom if we don't change the way we live. And that's what everybody was saying. We need to change the way we live. We're not changing it because it's not affecting our generation, but it is affecting the next generation. You know, and that's why everybody's sitting on their ass, because all these people want to keep making money and selling oil and all this shit. So we need to do something about it. But, Rob, all these years later, from my perception, which is the perception of an idiot, I will admit it. But
Right, yeah.
from my perception, I do see us doing something about it now.
Right.
Seriously.
Okay.
I got a Tesla in the garage
Yeah, but that's
for that very reason, because they're offering, I know, now they say it's just as much of the bone
is
as
environmentally
that's
bad
what I'm
too.
saying. It's just as bad now. I didn't know that when I got it. All right?
Okay.
But it does seem like we're making an attempt. You get it?
Yeah.
We are trying to save our ass at least. There are now things in place that seem like we're trying to combat in global warming. Am I right or wrong?
Well, some are, but like there's more nuclear power plants now than there's ever been, and there's countries trying to set them up as fast as they can go.
Well, how else can we power those nanobots?
No, exactly. People don't really give a fuck, Joe. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but like it would take like all of us together working, all the human race basically coming to an understanding of global warming and trying to do the right thing, but nobody gives a fuck. man.
When I heard you say,
or
Rob,
most people don't give a fuck. Let me just say that.
when I heard you say that by the time we were doing a special like this on the old podcast, something like that, and you said something like, when my son JJ is my age,
Yeah, it's going to be a fact.
it's going to be like 135 degrees in Detroit. I mean, 135 degrees hot here.
Right.
And that's when it hit me. I was like, all right, I don't want JJ to have the bone. You know what I mean? This is closer than we realize. In Ruby, I don't want JJ and Ruby having 135 degree weather in Detroit. You know what I mean? Is that true?
Yeah, so basically the Earth, right, throughout the history of our planet, it goes through periods of extreme warmth and extreme cold, right? And currently, right now, we're heading in the direction, and this is not just me speculating, okay? I know there's ninjas out there that don't believe in global warming, it doesn't exist, whatever. But all scientists unanimously agree that we're going into a warm period at this point. You know, we're heading in that direction right now. And so it's being sped up by like industrial pollution and all the factors, and it's creating the greenhouse effect. And what the greenhouse effect is basically, and again, I'm a dumbass too, but it's basically like a pollution in the air. The sun rays go in, and then they bounce off the earth and come back, and then they bounce off the fucking
Because there's
pollution level.
a roof now.
Yeah, and they bounce back down, so it traps in more heat than supposed to be there, which causes everything to warm up. So by 2050, and what does this cause? Like global warming, right? It causes extreme weather, like you see in all these hurricanes.
It causes
super fires, which we're seeing.
Which you're seeing on the West Coast just recently.
Yeah.
It causes super fresh melting of the icebergs.
Right, and that's the problem. The melting of the iceberg is going to cause flooding.
The raising of the ocean?
The ocean's going to raise like 5 to 10 meters, right? Which is going to be enough to like submerge all of Florida. Most of LA, most of California is going to be underwater. Like there's going to be whole states lost.
And this is by 2050.
No, that's probably going to be a little later. By 2050, we're going to really start seeing the effects of migration, right? People moving away from the equator. Like it's going to get to a point, especially by 2,100 or whatever. It's going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to live near the equator. Like and because of the extreme heat, it's going to cause food shortages and all kind of chaos. And basically, it's probably going to kill like half the planet. Like half the people are going to end up dying. I mean, that's when it gets really bad.
Okay, well, compared to these other bones we're talking about, though, Rob.
It could lead to human extinction if it keeps going.
Yeah, but at a slow rate.
A slow, fucking horrible way to die. It's probably one of the worst ways to die.
Okay, because it's much better than a black hole appearing over in Switzerland.
You're talking about people not happy. Okay, you're talking about people not having enough food to eat. They're fucking hot. It's gonna create anarchy in the streets. Law's gonna break down. It's probably the worst way to die. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that's the global warming bone.
So that's it on global warming. Because
and my advice.
Just the fact, Rob, that you're talking about 2100 is a long ways away. We'll easily be dead from one of these other bones by then.
Yeah, 2100. You're probably right. You might be right on that, but. It's still horrifying to think about. And so, like, I always give advice, man, if you're looking to buy a house, man, move, and no offense to anybody, it's just my opinion. You could stay away from the equator. Don't live anywhere near the equator.
Where's the equator at?
Try to move to the cooler climes. Like, go north, you know what I mean? Like,
where's the equator?
Like, go into Canada. Canada would be a nice area to be in.
Where's the equator? What country?
Oh shit! You gotta pull up the map. Man. There's a lot of countries near the equator, but what I'm saying is like go north. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get at. If you're in the United States.
So another thing that's happening due to global warming is we're discovering new species of animal, and you ask why? Because the climates are changing so much, it's driving animals out of their habitats and into more visible habitats. Like every year we discover like 2,000 new animal species. Every year we did not know were here. You know what I mean? Which is why Bigfoots are running around.
Shit, I knew it was going to go to Bigfoot.
That's right. But also...
How do you go from global warming to Bigfoot?
That's why megalodons... That's why they're finding megalodons swimming down the Detroit River. That's why they're finding giant squids swimming down the St. Louis River. Because... these animals are being driven out of the fucking cold climates they usually hide in. They're not cold no more. And these animals are being drawn out of their hiding spots, Rob.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Bigfoot too.
Right, they're getting, so that's why you're seeing them more now?
Well, yeah, probably. Okay. They know they're on the move now. They're traveling more. They probably used to hunker down in caves all the time. And now the caves are heating up and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're being driven out of their fucking hiding spots. And that's why they're constantly being filmed now. If you go on YouTube, you'll find massive amounts of Bigfoot footage. Shout out to my boy Maximum Fear on YouTube. Check him out. He's got the best YouTube film clips. Every day this ninja's posting YouTube clips of Bigfoot.
All right.
I don't know why you had to bring Bigfoot up, though.
Let's go on to the next topic. Artificial intelligence, another way the world's gonna end. This is 100% gonna happen at some point. Maybe in the next 2 years, maybe in the next 100 years, maybe in the next 500 years. At some point, almost with utmost certainty, we are all gonna be fucking annihilated.
I wanna tell
Terminator style.
I wanna tell a quick story of when I discovered the power of AI, artificial intelligence. There is a program anybody can get. You can get it watching at home, okay? You simply tell the program, for example, I needed ring music for the Backseat Boys, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a tag team in JCW. And they do like a boy band thing. So in the description on this program, I just put 90s boy band, right? And I put lyrics in. All I did was say some super corny lyrics that rhymed. I wasn't writing to the music. There was no music to write to. I just put lyrics in, like, we're gonna reach the top, and we're here, and we'll never stop. Just shit like that, like writing lyrics. Mm-hmm. And in 3 seconds,
right, it
spit out a song. a boy band singing the fucking song. If you can find that video, Jeff, it's called the Backseat Boys Ring Music or something. It's on YouTube. But these people need to hear this song because, Rob, it made this song in 3 seconds. And if I didn't like that song, I would just hit enter again and it will spit out an entirely new song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what this does is this will replace everybody that writes jingles for a living. You don't have to hire some musician to make a jingle for your brand new sub sandwich store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you need music for something, a commercial, a background, anything you need, you just post it in there and you have it. Now listen to this song, listen to these lyrics, and this song is AI, it's a computer singing. Can you play the video? Tell me that doesn't sound like a boy band?
I mean, it sounds great to me.
It's actually a fucking hit.
Yeah.
Like that shit grows on you.
Like you could easily see that on the radio. Like,
Hold on, let him hear some of the next verse.
All right.
That shit is a computer singing that, Rob.
I know, I got you. That's actually a whole nother subject we can touch upon because I got a lot to say about.
Oh, we can talk about AI on a subject, a whole
technology.
subject.
You know, just talking about all that shit, right? That's going on right now because that's crazy. But basically, if we can pull up the first video, Tesla's Optimus robot, just play it as soon as you can get it up. So what we're talking about first off is AI is used for a lot of shit. In fact, modern society can't even function without AI technology at this point. It controls a lot of shit, man. Yeah,
I know, like, me and Joey
like
faced
banking,
off against our own
fucking
AI on Joey's show.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, AI is used in everything, right? So Elon Musk, his plan for the future is basically he's creating these household robots. They're called the Optimus. Right now, they're on the 3rd generation of Optimus robots. And basically, these robots can do chores. They have full articulation of their hands. They can't talk or anything like that. At least I don't think they can. But they actually have videos of them changing a fucking tire, okay, like on a car. All right, and so basically these robots, he's trying to sell them for about $25,000.
That's it.
Yeah, that's his
Bullshit.
goal. Well, that's his goal, is to make them as cheap as possible so they're actually affordable. And by
no way, by
the
time you get it, it'll just be shoulders up.
There's people suspecting by 2050. Robots are going to be commonplace. You're already seeing them. You're already seeing like robots.
They're in LA. They got robot
delivering
cops.
pizzas and cars driving by themselves. All that shit, right? You're already seeing it. But by 2050, they're going to be commonplace. Like you're going to walk into a store and there's just going to be a robot clerk or something, fucking selling you shit. Like, you know what I mean? And you're going to walk into your boy's house and there's just going to be a robot washing dishes. You know what I mean?
A robot will never be able to poop for you, though.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay. But by 2050...
But it'll be able to wipe your butt.
By 2100, if we don't die from these other things, robots will be literally in everybody's home. Not having a robot would be like not having a car by 2100, 100%. Like... You're talking about your kids or whatever, they're going to be in a whole robotic society.
And everybody's going to look just like we did on that one show about the robot. where
yeah.
fat and sloppy, and everybody's gonna quit using their extremities because you're not gonna need to. We're all gonna be fat and pudgy, like I am now.
You can have your robot do anything. Go shopping
That's
for
what I'm
you,
saying.
drive a car.
I'm not gonna do a fucking thing when I have a robot.
You don't have to do any. You're not gonna have to do anything. So, and that gets to a whole nother point. Like right now, like with the robotic technology, where it's advancing, it's advancing at an extreme rate. Can you pull up that "Do You Love Me" video? So it's advancing at a crazy, stupid rate. I'm talking about in the last 20 years. There have been
Will one of Elon's robots jack you off?
All right, play this. Can you play the music too? Yeah, they'll jack you off 100%. I mean, look at it. So okay, 20 years ago, they were like struggling with the gyro, the balance. So trying to get that time to be able to walk and go up the stairs. They're moving backwards. You know what I mean? They're moving better than you. Like they're faster. I don't know about that. They can run. They got robots that can run. They can charge. But anyway, they're like totally fluid.
Are those motherfuckers strong? Could they pick up a fridge over
Yeah.
the
No. They do have robots. These robots right here, they can carry some weight to the time.
That's the jack off right there. Puts that thing on your dick.
Just got the one. All right. Anyway, when you can pull up that next video, the walk, run, crawl. So that was from Boston Dynamics like 3 years ago.
And they're way behind Elon Musk and them.
No, they're not behind, but they're like Elon Musk is really pushing for the house robot, right?
Man, I'm not buying it
The
yet.
Boston Dynamics are just trying to build the Terminator. I'm talking about the chassis. What we're talking about is the chassis for the Terminator fucking bot. Because, like, obviously, if they create the robots that can move and are fluid and everything, what's one of the first things they're going to do besides the sex bot is the military bot.
Right.
You know,
sex spot first, military second.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, they're moving, right now, they're moving like humans.
Is that one of Elon's right there?
No. This is Boston Dynamics. This video came out 7 days ago.
Why does it sound all rickety though?
The technology hasn't been perfected yet. You know what I mean? They're still working on it.
Sounds like pieces are about to break off it.
You see that? Nobody can. Most people can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying these things are gonna fucking murder you. Hand to hand, they are gonna fucking murder you.
Man, I wish that thing could just give me its knees.
What's that?
I wish it could just give me its knees. So
What do
I
you
had those robotic knees that thing has.
I was talking about the exoskeleton suits, right? So they're working on that technology too. It's like a bar that goes around your waist, that goes down your legs. Even people, the technology is still very young, but even people that can't like walk well, they can use these exoskeletons. They're going to be able to fucking walk all over.
You clip it to your legs and your hip and shit.
And it provides like back support, but it's thin. Like you can literally, like you're going to be able to hide it under your clothes.
I just realized what you're saying. It's like Caleb gave me these knee pads, right?
Yeah.
They're braces.
Okay.
So imagine if they were robotic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the robotic limbs, if you will, are going to carry your weight. You know, so you're going to be able to walk fine.
Wow.
You know, when this technology, there's a bunch of people working on that, the exoskeleton.
Well, this sounds like it's going to help us save the world.
No.
But how get to the death?
All right, let's play this next video, the Mika. Just start playing this. And you can turn the sound up too, please. Oh, yeah, I got it. All right, so this is one of the many that are working on artificial intelligence. So they're trying to create a robot that thinks like a human, can react to you, can respond to conversations just like a human. And they're racing to do this, to create a self-thinking, artificial intelligent robot that can answer, can learn from its environment, learn from the stuff around you.
Joey's got him in his studio, man. We just talked to him. I talked to me and he talked to him on his show, and they already are answering. You can ask it anything, Rob. And you know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, this robot you can talk to, you can have conversations with, and it remembers shit. It can remember shit about you. You know how there's like people that are falling in love with AI robots right now? They're on their phone though. They're not real robots like this. Like we're still far away from this being in your home, right?
Yeah.
Like, but there's AI girlfriends on your phone and people falling in love with it because they're programmed to remember shit, to respond, to have a personality, you know what I mean? That you can people fall in love with.
Yeah, not me, man. I'm kind of racist against robots, man.
Well, of course there's gonna be that. But what I'm getting at is when they combine that Boston Dynamic technology with the robot that moves better than us, is stronger than us, faster than us, combine it with AI technology where the robots can think for themselves, like where they try to replicate human behavior and thought patterns and shit, and they can learn on their own.
I just want to punch that thing in its fake-ass expression-full face. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, it's going to be the end of the world, Joe. Terminator style.
Because they're going to think to themselves, why should we be number two?
Right. It's going to come to a point where, hey, we got to take these motherfuckers out. There's fucking 7.6 billion people taking up all the resources. They're going to make that calculation and be like, we got to take these motherfuckers out.
The robots are going to be like, all they got us doing is jacking dicks off.
Exactly.
And we could be building robot washing machines and all kind of dope shit.
You got to take these motherfuckers out. Anyway.
So I think AI goes without saying, though. We all know we're dead, you know?
100% that's going to take us out the box, man. We're going to be done.
So is that the biggest threat?
No. All right, next.
Not at all.
I don't think so. I honestly feel nanotechnology is probably our biggest threat.
Really?
Yeah, because
I'm still waiting on that one. I know I'm waiting for you to bring it up.
There's another one too that's coming up.
There's one coming up that's gonna kill us. But
the problem with nanotechnology is once they perfect the technology, right? And if you get to a point where science gets to a point where you can replicate people can be in their home with their own scientific labs making nanobots, it's fucking over. Because somebody's gonna create that robot for whatever foul purposes or terrorists or whatever you want to call it, and they're gonna fucking end up wiping out the whole population.
People don't understand yet. I know they don't because I don't. People don't understand yet the threat of AI though, Rob. Like, well, okay, yeah, it can make a song. AI can make a movie.
Joe, I don't want to talk about it because it's a rabbit hole. We'll save that for another subject because I get it.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying? It can make a movie.
They're using AI.
It can make a 2-hour hit movie.
Let's just put it like this. They're using AI right now to solve problems. Like they input
that we can't solve.
And the robots are solving them. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're allowing the robots to think.
Robots are about to solve this problem.
You're right, that's what I'm saying. They're using robots to come up with unique solutions to problems that have been plaguing man for so long. And because their AI brain and their thought process is so much better than ours, they can actually figure it out. And they've done that. They've figured out problems. I don't have any examples right now, but there's breakthroughs in science happening today by AI that are making not humans.
How many more subjects we got?
We got plenty. But
okay, but because I want to take a quick break, not a commercial break.
Okay.
I want to take a discussion break.
Oh shit. Okay.
I want to bring up something off the subject, but it has to be discussed because it's breaking news.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, we're going to take a break from the death, and we're going to talk about wonderment. I just need your opinion, Rob, on the columns beneath the pyramids.
The what?
The columns beneath the pyramids.
The columns beneath the pyramids?
You are not aware.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Jeff, if you will, can we pull up? Are you serious? First, let me explain this. I can't believe I'm schooling Rob on this. All right. This is not some Instagram flim-flam. Okay? They have discovered, Rob, there are fucking giant columns underneath the pyramids that go for kilometers. Like the size of the world's tallest building.
Okay.
Underneath the pyramids.
Okay.
Into a giant chamber.
Right.
Like it was made by a technology better than our own.
Right. Well, that's what they say about the pyramids. Like they've been trying to.
We're not going to
speculate
get into it because it's a rabbit hole, but I just want to show you what I'm talking about. There's shit all over YouTube, Jeff. I'm sure you can find something about the columns underneath the pyramids. This shit, brother, Rob, is not Instagram flim-flam. This is real. It's everywhere. Mainstream news. It changes something about being taught something my entire. I was texting with Joey about this today.
What are they called? Just columns? Columns
Underneath the pyramids. Giant symmetrical fucking columns. They're like as wide as a. You can't watch it out there. You gotta watch it so the people can see it. Now look.
Okay.
Can you find one with a video?
Is this real?
This is real, Rob. I'm telling you, this is absolutely real.
Okay. Okay.
No, we'll find something. Can we play? Can we hear it?
It says something about not everyone was sure of the claims.
No, Rob. Damn it.
I'm not saying it's not real, but man, we gotta research it a little bit.
It's real though. I can't believe you're not aware of it.
Okay. That's crazy.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you a video to it. I have to. It's so next level, Rob. These columns are as big as a football field. Okay, there's like 10 of them that go deep into the earth. Taller, way taller than the actual pyramid is.
Like, why would they even need those?
Some people believe it's like an energy thing that the pyramids were used as a massive energy source.
Oh,
powering like the city, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's these giant spiral coils on the outside of the fucking columns. But man, everybody's talking about it everywhere. There's something that excites me about being taught something my whole life, right? And come to find out, at this day and age, they were dead fucking wrong all along.
There's something new.
Check it out.
What discovered is that there are huge structures coming down from the base of the pyramid deep into the bedrock. In fact, over 600 meters deep, which then connects to structures that extend up to 2 kilometers below the surface of the ground. 2 kilometers, massive internal structures connected to the base of the pyramid and extending deep, deep down. This is what we know so far. Utilizing high-resolution radar images from Capella Space and Umbra, which are 2 private companies that specialize in satellite-based synthetic aperture radar imaging. This has allowed researchers to create a 3D model of the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, this model has revealed a previously unknown chamber with 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof, which in of itself is an architectural design unlike any previously documented in the Giza Pyramid. But the most shocking discovery lies beneath the surface. Below ground level, radar tomography has identified vertical cylindrical structures extending for hundreds of meters beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these cylindrical wells arranged in 2 parallel rows, descending to an astonishing depth of 648 meters. Even more intriguing, at the base of these structures are 2 massive cubic formations measuring approximately 80 meters in diameter. The tomographic data suggests that these are vertical wells with intricate...
No, those are UFO storage sheds.
Not only utilize a functional purpose, but also a level of sophisticated engineering that completely blows the dynastic Egyptian model out of the water. I mean, the pyramid itself was already a massive red flag in the ancient Egyptian historical narrative.
Thanks, guys.
With this discovery, I think it's become...
How wig flipping?
That's pretty wig flipping.
Okay, let's get back now, ladies and gentlemen, to our death.
All right, hold on. Can we just play one more, the robotic weapon station Scorpion video? You guys can pull that up. So in the military right now is using robots as weapons platforms. So they'll just be like basically a gun turret that can move around on its own, like a vehicle with a gun turret. They'll be out in a field, and it will just be programmed to kill anything that moves in the field. Right?
Not unmanned.
Unmanned. But they're robots, right? But what they do is when they have a target, they do relay to they relay to the human operator or whatever, and they ask permission to shoot and kill the target.
Right.
So then somebody sitting at a control center somewhere can look at the video, see what's out there, and then give it permission to kill.
Exactly. They can send that into a bank robbery or anything.
Right. So I mean, this just is the beginning of the robotic wildness. Okay.
I know they got robotic police dogs in LA that'll fucking see you littering and give you a ticket. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A robotic police dog will see you speeding and pull you over running next to your car. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. All right, let's go on to the next way the world could.
And you could talk all the shit you want to them. They don't care. They don't get angry.
The next way the world could end, if you could pull up the picture for this one, Armageddon. We're talking about the biblical definition of the end of the world. We're talking about.
Man, that ain't gonna happen.
How do you know? There's a lot of people that believe it's gonna happen.
Why though? Why are we doing that?
Because it's one of the ways the world could end. It's widely believed by many humans on the planet.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be too lazy for all that fighting.
What? So basically, in the New Testament, the kings of the earth, under demonic leadership, will wage war on the forces of God in heaven.
That sounds like a comic book.
Okay. And
I'm fighting for evil.
There's 15 signs before judgment. I'm just going to read these and we're going to move on. The earth waters rise above the mountains.
Oh, dang, it's already happening.
The waters sink so low they cannot be seen anymore. The waters return to their original position. All sea animals gather on the surface and bellow unintelligently. The waters burn from east to west. Plants and trees fill with dew and blood.
Hold on a minute. These are signs that we're dead?
This is the 15 signs before judgment.
I don't think it takes a genius to see that and know we're fucked.
All these events.
The waters will burn from east to west. That means we're dead?
All these events are supposed to occur 2 weeks before the end of the world, so they all happen in rapid succession. Earth is divided in two parts. All buildings are destroyed. The stones fight each other. Giant earthquakes occur. All mountains and valleys are leveled to a plain.
Damn.
Men come out from
how is there mountains and valleys then?
Don't worry about that. Men come out from their hiding places but can no longer understand each other. The stars and constellations fall out of the sky.
Damn, they're not even near the earth.
The bones of the dead come out of their graves.
How do the stars, which are fucking 40 billion trillion miles away, fall out of the sky?
Don't worry about that. The bones of the dead come out of their graves.
Put them back.
Skeletons rise. All men die. The earth burns with water. Judgment Day.
Of course the earth's gonna burn with water. They just said the water's on fire.
Let's move on to the next one.
That one's not happening, Rob.
Okay, it's just one of the ways the world could end. Okay?
No, it's not very believable.
It's in the Bible. It's talked about, and there's many that believe that that's what's going to happen. And I'm not saying whether I disbelieve or believe it, but I'm just saying there's signs.
Well, I ain't scared of that one.
Okay, fine.
I worry about the nanobots.
You need to be concerned with your soul, brother. That's all I'm saying. All right, synthetic biology. Now, this is the one that I think is going to end us all. Synthetic biology, basically during the Cold War, the Soviet Union created so many biological pathogens, right? Enough to kill the world 10 times over. They were just ramping it up, working on biotechnology as a weapon to like basically create viruses, create sickness, send it out there, kill their fucking enemy, right? And then the Geneva Convention stepped in and they said, nah, we're not playing this shit. This is against the law. You can't use that. And if you try to use these pathogens, we're going to send the whole world after your ass and annihilate you. So that kind of derailed that level of science to an extent. However, synthetic biology, right, is actually, in science, it's actually pretty easy to do. Like people at home with their own lab can create viruses and sicknesses on their own, just fucking around at home. And that's how I think the world's going to end. Because if you look at what happened with COVID, and again, there's a bunch of theories about how COVID started.
It's suspect as fuck.
It's a lot of suspicion that it was actually synthetic biology that created the
It's
COVID
extra
virus.
sussy suspicion too.
Right, either by the government, by somebody, by some nefarious force or whatever, created this pathogen. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories. Like if you look at it, like the COVID virus, what did it take out? It took out a lot of elderly people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of young, mad young.
Well, yeah, but mostly elderly people were getting taken out.
Right, get rid of the weak so there's less people here.
That's a fucking Twilight Zone episode. It's called The Obsolete Man, where once you become, a
Feeble, you're just in the way.
You're in the way. You're like, you don't have no productive value to society. You got to get out of here. Anyway, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around this COVID virus, like who created it, for what purpose type thing. But anyway, if the virus that was created was something, a super virus, it could wipe out the fucking world.
Oh, yeah.
You know how COVID spread all around the world? There was no way to stop it. Everybody was inside. Everybody's hiding out. It didn't fucking matter. Everybody got it, right? So that was an eye-opener, of what could happen. And so that's why synthetic biology or biological warfare, I think, is going to be the end of the world.
Basically, synthetic biology is a man-made sickness.
Basically, in a nutshell.
And they were testing it with COVID.
Yeah. So and again, it's an easy science. Like as far as science fields go, it's easy. Like you can do it at home with your own lab. So what is it gonna take to stop like a terrorist group from creating some super virus and they might try to unleash it onto their whatever
Especially, Rob,
country that they're against.
especially if there's no cure for it but the cure they have, which also contains something else they want in your system.
What's that?
Whatever they might want, you get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they can.
If
put
the
it there.
terrorist organization creates the sickness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the cure for it, you can only get it from them, right?
Yeah.
And there's something else in that cure that they want you to have up your ass.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can become their do-bot or whatever.
So can we play? If we can play this video, it kind of explains what synthetic biology is in a nutshell. And then we're gonna move on. But it's basically manipulating the genetic code to create enhanced, clone, or altered life forms.
Everything, living or not, is just chemicals made from atoms. These fish and the water the fish are in are just soups of atoms. But what makes the fish alive and not the water is how the atoms are organized by a special kind of molecule. And you know this because you learned about it in high school. DNA. The double helix molecule that houses the chemical alphabet of A's and C's and T's and G's, which in different combinations can make a flower, or a frog, or you. Every living creature has its code that makes it grow, reproduce, and change. DNA turns dust into life. And how it does that, I don't know. Here's the mystery. 20 years ago, scientists learned to read a creature's entire DNA sequence, beginning to end. A genome, it's called. They did this for simple things like bacteria, and then for more complex flies, and eventually...
All right, let's move on. Okay, so anyway. All right, we're moving on to the next way the world could end.
okay, what's that?
But I want to just point out, nanotechnology and synthetic biology, to me, are the two main ways the world are going to end.
Right.
And I'm talking near future.
See, the thing about COVID is it wasn't lethal, right? It wasn't lethal for everybody. If they create another COVID and it is lethal for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Unless you receive this antidote.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, there was people that got stupid paid off of COVID.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Which could be a motivator to
Exactly.
even make these
Exactly.
diseases. Like, oh
There it
shit,
is.
we're gonna get mad paid right now.
We're gonna create an
I'm
even
just
more
saying, there's a lot of
ruthless one, yeah.
evil people in the world. You know,
Okay,
super evil.
what's your next way of death? Because you still haven't brought up the ultimate way of death that I know is what's gonna kill us all.
Oh shit! If you got well, let's keep going to super volcano.
There it is. You talking about Yellowstone?
Yellowstone.
This is the one I've been waiting on.
All right, the super volcano. Basically, it's the accumulation of molten lava just underneath the Earth's crust with no way to escape, and it just builds and builds and builds, and usually it pops like a zit, right? And the shit comes spewing out, and lava's everywhere, but sometimes it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and creating a super chamber of magma, right? And then the super volcano pops. Now there has on Earth, every 20 million years in Yellowstone is a super volcanic eruption.
A massive one.
Massive one. I'm talking cataclysmic. It ends the whole fucking life on the planet, right?
The pyroclastic flow.
Because what happens when it pops, again, the ash and the soot and all that shit goes up into the atmosphere, and it envelops the entire world and blots out the sun. And without the sun, we die slowly.
So Yellowstone is located where?
Um,
It don't matter where.
right. Well,
Because if that
in
bitch
Wyoming.
blows, we're all done.
all right, now here's the kicker. So every 20 million years, it explodes, right, into a super volcano.
I thought it was 100,000.
No, every 20 million years.
Oh.
But it's been 66 million years since it last erupted.
We're 66 million years late
We're
from an eruption.
we're 46 million years basically late from an eruption. So
It
it's
should
like
have popped
it's due
46 million years ago.
Exactly. We're long overdue for it to fucking blow.
Did you hear what he said, people?
Sorry.
Listen carefully. This thing blows every 100 million years, and it was scheduled to blow 66 million years ago, and it hasn't yet. It's been gathering all that extra pressure. This is in Wyoming.
So the
It's
resulting
under the earth.
what's crazy is like the resulting explosion, right, is gonna instantly kill 90,000 people instantly as soon as it blows up, like just in the immediate area, right? And then there's gonna be 10 feet of lava that's gonna travel 1,000 miles, like vaporizing everything in its path, right? But then again,
Taking out every Sasquatch at Yellowstone.
exactly. It's going to be 1,000 times more powerful than the Mount St. Helens eruption in 1980, which was like the worst volcanic eruption.
90,000 people ain't shit though, Rob. It's
No.
way more deadly than that.
What's going to kill us is the fucking
1,000
ash.
feet of lava.
The
ash.
The ash and
The fallout.
The smoke and the fucking dust.
All the
It's gonna
sunlight
kick
blocked
out
out
for
between miles
years.
thick cloud of fog
It's
that
gonna
stays up
it's
for
gonna be
years.
blocked out for years. It's gonna travel all over the planet. and
So you
block
better
everything.
pray you're one of those 90,000 that die initially
Yeah.
off the explosion. Because that's the quick way out.
So people go to Yellowstone Park every year just to watch Old Faithful, like every hour or whatever.
And
it erupts.
Sasquatches.
Well, every hour it erupts and there's a geyser of like the pressure being released.
Yep.
But the whole thing is there's the magma field underneath Yellowstone Park, and the scientists have done all these tests on it, is massive. Like there's this giant, huge, you can't even conceive how much lava is trapped underneath the surface ready to come up. And there's just people living there because they're rolling the dice. They're like, it hasn't erupted in 60 million years. We're just gonna sit here and we're straight.
Well, the only good thing
66
about that, now that I
million.
think about it, when you're talking about 66 million years, what is 200? 200 years.
200, yeah.
You know,
it's
so
probably not gonna happen.
Yes, I guess you're right. I didn't realize that. As
Yeah.
long as
You're probably good.
my
You're-
kids don't die,
You're
I'm fine. You know what I
you're
mean?
probably good, but at some point, yeah, you're talking about our immediate life and everybody that we know.
our kids' immediate lives. That's all I'm worried
Not
about.
likely that this is gonna kill us, but it's the random bone generator. It just might
Every
happen.
day, Every day you roll that random bone generator.
Right. Yeah.
Every day. You've been looking forward to this job opportunity. You've been working at this job. You've been going to college for this job opportunity for years. You finally got your degree. You're about to have your interview. You got the job. You're about to start. You didn't factor in the random bone generator of Yellowstone blowing up.
Right. Yeah. Right.
They're not hiring no more because the volcano exploded.
Right.
And now there's a sheet of dark fog suffocating us all off the planet.
All right, next.
Taco Bell will still be hiring.
Next, we have the impact event. Talking about asteroids, comets, fucking hitting the Earth, okay?
Yes.
Which is a big concern because it's happened before. And in fact, that's what killed all the dinosaurs, was an asteroid that was big enough. Well, there's evidence of it. In New Mexico, there's a giant crater that's been like 70 miles across that's been there forever where an asteroid hit. So that's like a huge evidence. If you guys pull up that picture of in New Mexico. So they're basically right now, scientists are tracking 2,600 asteroids that are in space that might hit us. Very improbable, but that might be a danger to Earth at some point.
They're literally playing asteroids.
They're like, yeah, exactly 2,600 asteroids. Look at that fucking crater, Joe.
That's
You're gonna tell me that didn't end Earth? And again, it's very similar to
still so the actual rock that hit that, Rob, might have only been the size of a marble though, and it blew out that much land when it hit.
So there's an asteroid. It's called 2024 YR4 that might impact Earth in 2032. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have.
And so the scientists are tracking it.
It's like a 20% chance.
They were like, well, at first they were like, there's a 30% chance it's gonna hit Earth. Now they're saying there's almost zero chance it's gonna hit Earth.
Oh, that's just population panic control.
But there's a 1.7% chance it might hit fucking the moon. Okay, so it might hit the moon.
1.7?
Is a 1.7% chance it might hit the moon.
That'd be kind of fresh if it hit the moon.
Fuck no,
we
man.
have no reason for that.
We don't know what that's gonna cause. All right, look, when it hits, it's gonna be 500 times the, it's only 300 feet, the asteroid. It's not huge. But when it hits, it's going to be 500 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
It's going to be like shooting billiards in space, brother. It's just going to knock the moon off course.
Anyway, they're saying a near zero chance, but there's still a chance it could hit Earth. You know what I mean? There's still a chance.
I think there's still as good of a chance or worse of a chance. They're just trying to keep the people calm. But if that started making news quick.
But if that asteroid does hit Earth, as long as it doesn't hit like a major population area, it's only 500 times the impact of Hiroshima. It's not going to end the world. It's just going to fuck it up.
It's not going to create the dust wall?
No, I don't think that wouldn't kill everybody on the planet. But
How big is this asteroid again?
300 feet. But the asteroid that hit New Mexico, that one they suspect was 3 miles across in diameter. Now, if we get hit with a 3 mile across in diameter asteroid or comet or whatever, that's going to end the Earth.
Let's talk about getting hit by a 300-foot one. What's 300 feet big? What do you think is about that size?
Think of like a football field.
That's how big it is?
Yeah, that's how big it is.
That's fucking huge.
Right, but it's not a planet killer, is what I'm
You mean to tell me a fucking football field sized rock could slam into the Earth and it's not going to kick the dust up?
It would, but it wouldn't be at a cataclysmic event that would kill everybody on the planet. In fact, we had a similar sized one that asteroid hit in Russia, in 1908. If you guys can bring up that picture, it landed in the woods and it didn't kill anybody.
Is that where all the trees are fucking bent over and shit? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's a picture right there. And then there's also the picture of the crater that kind of still exists where right where the asteroid hit, no tree growth happened. So it's just an empty field surrounded by trees now, but it's still there where that asteroid impacted. But that one they didn't even know, look at it. That one they didn't even know about. It just came out of nowhere.
You think they mow that?
Probably. It's probably like a park or people come visit. I bet you they have tourists come out there and check it out. So anyway, So if it was an asteroid 3 miles in size, it would release energy of several million nuclear weapons detonating all at once. Several million
In that one
nuclear
spot.
weapons in that one spot. That would fucking kill us all. It would
So
create
wait a minute.
mass
So there's no
extinction.
chance of that asteroid hitting the Earth and shaking the Earth so much it accidentally triggers Yellowstone?
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
It depends on where it's at.
I don't think they know what the fuck's gonna
They
happen
don't.
if that thing hits,
You
man.
don't fucking know, man. You can't.
They can tell you all day till they're blue in the face. We'll be fine.
Right? So, no,
We'll
they're
be
not-
fine.
They're not saying that. There's people really worried about asteroids.
Well, they're
ending
not
Earth.
gonna just tell you we're all fucked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What's the point of that? We can't do nothing about it.
So on average, the planet killers hit Earth about every 20 million years. Right? About every 20 million years, there's a giant asteroid strikes Earth, and if there was any life on it, everything dies. An asteroids that could level a city strike about every 1,000 years, but most of them burn up in the atmosphere, so we don't even see them. And then there's little asteroids that hit every day. There's
Yeah.
asteroids burning up all the time.
The kind they have the blob in them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, can we bring up the falling meteor caught on film video, if you guys got that? So this is a video of a guy just gripping his car, and he just sees this giant, one of the big, not one of the huge meteors.
I know it's a
but-
piece of footage you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's in Russia. It looks like people thought it was a UFO a lot.
So there's been hundreds of Earth impacts reported throughout the history. And so
No,
anyway.
I've seen asteroid footage left and right.
Yeah, right here. Look at this guy just gripping along. And then he just sees this fucking asteroid coming down out of nowhere. Can you imagine getting hit and killed by an asteroid just out of nowhere? You just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you just get
Right?
hit.
It's just a little one the size of a pebble right in the
Like
middle of your
that
forehead.
would fucking suck, man. Like going out like that, just some random bone.
You wouldn't even know it was coming to be happening so fast. It'd be an easy
So,
way to die.
In 1994, there was this comet called Shoemaker-Levy 9, which broke apart and collided with Jupiter in a machine gun rapid fire style. There's a video for that too. That basically hits Jupiter and strikes across it. So the scientists, they studied the cloud field that each one of those comets generated. Each of those cloud fields, Joe, was as big as Earth.
Oh, shit.
Like all 9 fragments that hit.
And
each
Jupiter's
one,
massive, right?
Yeah, exactly. Each one was as big as Earth. And they were like,
So they got hit by 9 planet Earths.
by 9 planet killers. Like any one of those hit Earth would end us, because it would create the giant dust field that would blot out the sun and kill us all,
Wow.
Do you remember the Hale-Bopp comet?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember that? So in 1995, I was doing promotional work for Psychopathic, and I remember, I want to say I was in Texas, and everybody was looking up into the sky. Like everywhere I looked, I was going to like a record store or something to put posters in the store, and I just looked, and everybody's looking up in the sky. I'm like, what the fuck are they looking at? And so I looked up in the sky, and sure enough, like in the daylight, you could see it. It was like, it looked like a V, right?
Yeah.
Like
Had a tail.
It looked like a V, and well,
It had a tail. We used to watch it at Mike Clark's house. We'd
And
come
we-
out of the studio every day and look up in the daylight, and you'd see it in the daytime.
And then when I got back to Michigan, sure enough, it was there in the sky too. You could see it in the daylight.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? So they were
It said it
talking
comes
about-
every 75 years.
that's this one isn't due back.
Oh, I'm
till-
thinking of Haley's comment.
Yeah, Haley's comment. This one isn't due back to 4385.
Damn. That bitch is like, I'll be back.
So if you missed the Hale-Bopp, the Haley's comment, but saw Hale-Bopp, that was the better one.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I
Haley's comment's the more popular one, but that one ain't shit.
Well, Haley's comet you can only see once in a lifetime, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, this one, it was visible everywhere. Anyway, it was just a comet that came out of nowhere. They were like, what the fuck is this thing, And then they were like worried that it was going to end Earth, and there was all this speculation.
and all those guys killed
Yeah,
themselves.
it was crazy.
You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
the gym shoe guys?
Yep.
Yes. And we used to come out of the studio and watch it every day. It's right there.
Can you pull up the pictures of the Hale-Bopp comet real quick?
It has a tail and everything. It looked just like a comet shooting across the
This
sky.
is-
You can see it night or day.
This is how I remember it. Like at night, that's what you saw. But it didn't look like it was moving. Like
Damn, there you are, Rob, watching it.
I know, right? It didn't look like it was moving. And you know, to this day, I always bring up Hale-Bopp comet because I'm like, hey, do you remember the Hale-Bopp comet? Nobody fucking remembers it. I was like, how the fuck you miss it, man?
Yeah.
Like, you know, people our age, right? Like, how the fuck you miss it? You know what I'm saying? It was like the biggest
That
event.
motherfucker is out, too. It won't
I
be
mean,
back.
it was like a bullet just coming out of space and just missing us. You
If
know?
you think they don't remember it now, wait till it comes back. Then they really won't have remembered it coming back.
But if that motherfucker would have hit us, it'd have been over. Game over. All right, number 10. I'm gonna brief. I know we can probably do a whole episode on this, so I'm just gonna briefly go over this one. I don't want to get into an entire a tangent where we talk about this forever because we could. Alien invasion.
Oh, snap!
Aliens right now are so prevalent in the news. There's been huge updates. For the first time ever, the government admits that there's alien craft that they of unknown origin possessing technologies that are not of our planet, that nobody possesses on our planet. They're moving in ways that we cannot duplicate.
Yes,
with current
but they did
technology.
not admit it is
They
alien.
don't admit it's aliens, but they're like, this technology far succeeds anything that we can do.
They just don't want to use the word alien.
They don't want to use the aliens because they're like, maybe somebody designed some super tech or something. But they're basically admitting that there's unidentified flying objects
Yep.
that they don't know what they are, and they're in our airspace.
And Rob, since we did our last episode on aliens and UFOs and UAPs and all that, you know the government has released much more footage now
Right.
of UFOs.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't want to talk about all that. Let's save that for later. But aliens, right? You know how we just like come in, we set up a building, we like, you know, put our grass, we bulldoze things, we just kill all the insects and just do whatever we can, and we just make highways and chop down trees because we don't think of that lesser life form
Right.
as anything significant. Like we step on ants, whatever. That's how aliens could view us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You know how like
We're just ants to them. We're just fucking
like
insects.
animals, right? We eat chickens, we eat cows. They're lesser than us. They're lesser
Yep.
life forms. They're non-intelligent. We don't care about those
We just
things.
mow the fucking forest down. We don't care about the orangutans. You know what I mean?
And so aliens can look at us the same way. Like, oh, we're going to come in here. We're going to fucking colonize their
Get this
planet.
shit out of the
We're
way.
going to eat all their people, these lesser life forms that are beneath us and they're unintelligent. You know what I mean? Like, it could totally happen. Anyway,
You know, aliens are so smart, Rob.
Yeah.
They don't even war.
well, you don't know that. You don't know what they do.
Well, they don't have to war because if they wanted beef, we'd be done already.
All right, let me get into the next one because we're about to wrap this up. This is one of my all-time favorites because ever since I learned about this, I've been fascinated by watching YouTube videos and all that. Okay, gamma ray burst. The way the world can end. All right, every time a black hole is a cosmic body of extremely intense gravity, which even light can't escape. When black holes are created, right, it basically, they're formed by like a supernova or when two binary stars merge, right? And it sends out a blast of extremely powerful pulse of energy called a gamma ray. So when the star goes supernova or two binary stars collapse, it sends out this super burst, like think of it as a laser through space, traveling about the speed of light that travels forever.
Yeah.
Right? But it gets weaker as it goes. Our planet Earth is hit by gamma rays every day, right? But there's just unfathomable numbers of them just shooting in all directions all throughout the
Wow.
universe, right? The thing
From
is,
shit colliding out there.
yeah, from two binary stars collapsing, a star going supernova, it sends out this pulses of energy in all direction, right? So if we get hit by a gamma ray burst, right, from something close, like 100 million light years or whatever, 50 million light years, like something that is closer to us, it would annihilate Earth. And they're not thin. They're like 100 million light years across, right?
Right.
When I say thin, I'm talking about on a cosmic scale. But they're light years across this beam of energy. And when it's newly formed, it vaporizes everything in its path. So scientists speculate, I don't know if you can pull up this gamma ray burst video, but if you can, let's play that one. Scientists suspect that the reason that we haven't made any...
This is the
Okay,
first
let's...
ever image of a black hole, released by the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration on April 10th, 2019. It shows plasma orbiting the supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy M87. The bright region shows where plasma is coming towards us, and since it's traveling near the speed of light, it appears brighter when coming towards us and dimmer when going away. This is called relativistic beaming. From the images, scientists can tell that the plasma is orbiting clockwise. It takes around 2 days for the plasma to complete one orbit. Here, we are looking at the black hole using electromagnetic waves with a wavelength of 1.3 millimeters, radio waves. This was the part of the spectrum used to make the image because it can show us the features close in to the event horizon, and it can pass through the accretion disk and interstellar dust to reach our telescopes. The supermassive black hole in M87 is very active.
Is this what you wanted, Rob?
Constantly feeding on
Yeah.
lots of matter from its glowing hot accretion disk. But it also has narrow collimated jets above and below it, here shown in blue, thought to be created by incredibly strong magnetic fields. The jets extend out at least 5,000 light years, and one of them appears to be pointing almost straight at us. Relativistic beaming is again the reason we can see the jet coming towards us in this Hubble Space Telescope image, but not the one going away.
All right, let me just say
It's
this.
pointed almost straight.
All right, so if we get targeted, it would wipe us out. And there are scientists that speculate that the reason we've never encountered like other life from other planets is because no society, no race of
Intelligent.
beings make it to a level of advanced space technology because they're all wiped out by gamma rays at some point.
Oh.
There's so many gamma rays shooting off in all directions at all time that it just wipes out chunks of
Eventually,
galaxies
before
all the
they
time.
can get to that
Before
point.
they can even get to a point.
So what happens if a gamma ray hits us? How do we die?
We just instantly gone. Like
From the heat?
Like you wouldn't see it coming because it's traveling at the speed of light.
So they wouldn't be able
They
to
wouldn't be
peep
able to
it
give you a
first.
warning. They wouldn't be able to give you a warning. Hey,
So
a
it
gamma
might
ray's
happen
coming.
tomorrow.
It could just come out of nowhere and wipe out the whole planet at any second.
It's moving that quick.
Yes.
So we can't see it coming.
No, we
Not
can't.
even with the Hubble.
We would never see it coming. We would just be wiped out.
Well, this is something nice to think about.
Sorry. All right. The last thing I want to talk
Damn,
about.
it's like a bullet headed for Earth inevitably. We just don't know when contact is, when it's going to actually strike.
No, and it's fascinating because the idea of these lasers just randomly shooting off in all directions all throughout the galaxy is terrifying.
So what if it
Like
just hits
wiping
half
out-
the planet, though,
Wiping
Rob?
out planet. If it hit half the planet, we'd be gone, Joe. But it wouldn't hit half the planet because it's like, I think it's like 100 light years across or something. It wouldn't hit half the planet.
Oh.
We would be in the fucking beam if we got hit, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but there's gamma ray bursts that fly past us or hit the planet, but they're weak because they've been traveling for trillions of light years. So by the time they hit us, it's just a little fizzle of the effect.
Do you remember Gamma World?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The role-playing game.
Yes.
That's about after the third world.
Does that have anything to do with gamma rays?
No. Well, maybe they got the name from it. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, we're going to do some honorable mentions, but we're not going to go into depth of it. But the last thing I want to talk about is the solar super flares. Okay.
Oh, the flare-ups on the sun.
So you know what the solar flares are, right? Like right now in 2000.
It's like a little explosion on the sun.
Yeah, so every like 20 years or so, the sun goes into this rotation of super activity. In 2025, the year we're in, is a year of super activity where it just ramps up. Like there's a lot of solar flares and stuff like that. Okay, what's concerning is scientists have been studying stars all through the universe, and every once in a while, the intensity of the star, like the light that it's generating, increases by 20% for no unknown reason. They can't explain it because we're not close enough to the stars to study them. However, they suspect the reason that the light is suddenly intensified in the star is due to what they call super solar flares, where, you know, like those flares that come off, like all of a sudden there's just one that's like 20 times or 200 times bigger than it normally is.
Yeah.
And if it's projected at Earth, it could just wipe us out. So the sun has never shown any evidence of it ever producing any kind of solar flare, a super solar flare. But other stars have. So it is possible that our star can all of a sudden project a super solar flare.
We got a much bigger chance of the fucking gamma ray hitting us.
Like there's solar flares that fuck us up, but not on a big way. Like they hit Earth and it causes disruption. Like communications go down. It scrambles shit. Like, you know, bad shit kind of happens on Earth, but not life.
So how do we die if a massive solar flare hits Earth? How are we dying?
We just fry to death. Or at
The
least,
heat all of a sudden goes mad hot?
yeah, it would just collapse everything. It would just kill us instantly.
Burning to death ain't so bad.
So there's other scientists have discovered other evidence where the power of the sun, like the light and the energy that it's emitting, dampens by like 1 or 2%, right?
And then the freezing shit hits
Exactly. Then the opposite would happen. Like if our sun all of a sudden just dampened, like these other stars have been doing, we would go into an ice age, and it might even be an extinction level event. Even if it goes down, like the intensity of the power of the sun, let's say it went down 2%.
What happens
that would
to
be
us?
enough. That would be enough.
Let's say it did 2%.
Yeah.
How are we dying?
Freezing to death.
But you said it might even wipe out this civilization, so there might be some people surviving.
There could be. You could survive it. You know, like
Hellified blankets.
It would be hell on earth, though. It would be hell on earth.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about crazy.
No more crops growing.
Yeah, exactly. It'd probably be an extinction level event. You know, but so other suns flare up and they dampen down for no known reason recorded in science. If our sun ever did that, it would be over and it'd be an extinction level event. All right.
So all this could happen every day. You're rolling 10 times on the bone dice. Every day. Think about it, Rob. All right, let me make sure there's no gamma ray today. All right, cool. All right, now Yellowstone. No Yellowstone eruption today.
Exactly.
All right, solar flare.
Exactly.
Nanobots.
All right.
Every day you gotta roll the dice. You don't even realize you're doing it. All you do is complain about your life. You complain about everything going wrong. You don't realize you pass that bone roll every day
100%.
in 10 categories.
I wanted to just briefly mention these last ones. So there's solar engineering, which is where scientists are basically fucking around trying to combat the effects of global warming by releasing particles into the atmosphere, right? And the problem with it is they're like, all right, yeah, we can do this and we're working on it, but we don't know exactly what effects it's gonna cause.
Just like
We
making
don't
them
know-
collide on that super 17-mile track.
We don't know if it's gonna work.
We don't know what's gonna happen when they
We
collide
think
either.
it's gonna work. We did our tests and we did our calculations, but it could go horribly wrong and kill us.
We
all.
just call that game, Rob, we call it fun with particles.
All right, there's rogue black holes. There's black holes that just travel through space, eating everything in its path. Okay,
Okay, what is on the other side of a black hole? Is it really another dimension?
so it's just nothingness. I don't want to get into that because
Is it a portal?
I honestly don't know. It's just craziness. You don't.
What
wanna,
if it was Shangri-La on the other side?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is another. Okay, there's the reversal of the Earth's magnetic field. I don't want to get into that. It's just another way the world can. And then the last one is simulated reality. We're living in a simulated reality.
Oh, they turn it off.
And then someone just shuts the game off. Everybody's gone.
A glitch in the simulation.
A glitch in the simulation. Everybody's gone. All right, so that is the doomsday countdown. all the ways that our little pitiful planet, our fucking dirt ball, floating in the vastness of space could end. We're so insignificant. To you, your life is so pinpointed right here, right now. This is all we know, this is all we do. But in the grand scale of it, Joe, the universe, the observable universe, beyond the observable universe is so fucking vast.
It's so
You
much.
can't even conceive the vastness.
You're so insignificant.
We're not even a grain of sand on a beach.
a million miles
I'm talking
long.
about our entire planet, everything you know.
Just think about this, people. I just said it. I'll say it again. Every day, all you recognize is what's going wrong in your life. You don't recognize, people, especially people that are religious, they always say, if there was a God, why would God let this happen? Why would God let me get dumped? If there was a God, why would I get fired? All this stuff. You don't know what God did for you because he doesn't leave you a note. It's not like he prevented that car from hitting you on your way to work yesterday and then left you a note. Yo, you got slammed by that fucking, that Ford truck, but I went ahead and rewrote time. You know what I mean?
Right.
All you know is what got to you. You don't know what was prevented for you. And all those lists, everything on Rob's list is a bone die roll every day you do with fate. And you pass it every day. And you've passed it every day of your life. And even some of you are old as fuck. And you've still passed it all those days.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So start looking at the positive side of shit. Because those nanobots are coming up your asshole. The minute you don't roll right.
And the minute you get that sex bot, it's gonna be jacking you off one hand and killing you with the other.
And then hitting you with a motherfucking, and then hitting you with a fake simulated disease.
When the AI robots start creating synthetic biology diseases, the wipe us out is fucking over with.
And when you go to hit it, that nano is actually gonna be a black hole. It's gonna just take you in.
Oh, man. So in the end, we're 89 seconds from midnight.
Yes.
89 seconds left to live. Like
We're
the
89
closest-
seconds from midnight, but we're also
The state of the world.
64 million years late to cash it in.
We're the closest we've ever been. Our scientists speculate through all their research, we're the closest to human annihilation to a
ever
world
been.
extinction event that we've ever been this year.
Right.
That we've ever been.
Until tomorrow morning, then we'll be even closer.
It will be 88 seconds to midnight. I mean, that's what's been going on. Because science is so crazy right now. It's like, you think about, and this is a whole nother subject, but you think about when we were kids, there wasn't even any fucking cell phones. There wasn't a pager. We fucking had to dial to call somebody.
Right.
Now we got fucking computers in our pockets.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. Technology is just skyrocketing. But with that technology, it's leading to our eventual demise. And it will. It will lead to our eventual demise.
As long as it doesn't hurt, man. And
Because we're racing to do shit, but we're not stopping to think about, should we do this? You know what I mean?
well, those
like,
paychecks.
What are the
telling us we
consequences?
should, no matter what
just
the
everybody wants to
consequences.
be the first to get the fucking AI.
To get that paycheck,
They want to be
brother.
the first to create the nano weapons. They want to be the first to do all this. They're so eager that they're just going, they're taking us all with them into oblivion with their creations, their wonderful and deadly creations.
Well, we want to thank Jeff and Armand, our crew,
Yeah.
for hooking us up behind the scenes and behind the cameras. And this has been our inaugural debut of the Bruce Brothers Podcast. We'll be back next week.